All right, let's talk a little bit about the Netherlands, which came under Spanish rule in the north. So very Germanic in nature and their culture, but spoke Dutch, and they were also Calvinists. So very devout Protestants. In the southern regions, they were French and Flemish, and they were Catholic. And so they're linked to France. Commercially, they were very prosperous because of the overseas trade and shipbuilding, and you're right there on the water, so there's a lot going on with trade going to and from. Many converted to Protestantism, and so you're seeing less artwork that relates to religion, so less art, altarpieces, that type of thing. And so the art is reflecting the culture around them, social classes, nobility, peasantry. And you're beginning to see genre painting, which is landscapes. It's looking at domestic scenes. And a lot of the art had commentary. There's something that relates to socially, politically, religious. And of course, because it's northern, you're going to see that realistic elements that we've seen in a lot of the Northern Renaissance artwork. So when we got to Bruegel, I was really excited because I love this artist. I love it's very charming to look at, and it's something that you could go back to again and again, looking at all the details and enjoy it. And I was really glad to see that they've included this. So he was quite educated. He traveled to Rome, and he had studied Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel, but chose not to incorporate the classic elements. So there is no sculpturesque bodies here. There is little chiaroscuro, and it's his style. It's a little more flat, but super charming and wonderful to look at. He has incorporated atmospheric perspective, which you're going to have a foreground, a middle ground, and a background. And typically in the foreground, the things are going to be larger because they're closer to you. And in the middle ground, they're getting smaller. And in the background, they're very small. Also, as with atmospheric perspective, the color changes. The color gets lighter. So the further away, you have less emphasis on the color. So, and traveling to Italy, we don't see the classical elements, but what we do see is on the right side here. And you would have never seen this type of mountain in the Netherlands. So this is definitely an emphasis of the alpine landscape that he would have seen in Italy. And, something that he had recorded on his trip where he had taken notes and, little messages and stuff, or, even sketches. So his style, his choice of subject was demanded by local scholars, merchants, bankers, people who would have appreciated something beautiful and something that they wanted to put on their wall and appreciate. It reflected, like I said, contemporary social, political, and religious conditions. And many of the inspiration came from country fairs or, sketched of town people, that type of thing, farmers. So let's get a little bit closer so we can see some of the things that are happening here. I think on the left side, they're preparing to slaughter a pig. And, they've got the fire going and they're cleaning up. And then on the right side, it looks like, she's carrying something, and you see the birds, and you see this woman up here walking on top of the bridge. And I'm not really sure what's going on here, but you just have these little venues, these little vignettes of different things that are going on. We know it's really cold outside. We can tell by that, not only by the snow, but by the way the people are huddled over. And, we have a lot of accuracy here, of course, typical of the Northern Renaissance. Lots of details. And I also want you to notice the diagonal composition and how he's really brought us in. And in using diagonals, that's how artists are able to get people to come in and look at the center of the composition. And just look at all the little things that are going on. As you can see, the skaters in the background, the birds flying above. There's some birds in the trees as well. So it's just this, it's very calm. I mean, we see the hunters, they've come back. There's not a whole lot that they were able to get, and they look like they're trudging through the snow, and it's almost dark. And, they're probably a little bit tired. But, that's what's so charming about this. We see smoke coming from the little houses, and we see the tree trunks and all the different little details that are going on. So this is one of 6, all of 5 of this series. So this was a series of seasons, and this is obviously winter. And here we have some of the other seasons going on. I just love this work. I really enjoy looking at it. And here are 2 more. One of them, something's happened to one of them. We don't have the 6th one, but these are the ones. And this one on the top is one of my favorites. Anyway, so this is Bruegel, and you want to, when looking at this, you want to look at the rhythm of what's happening, the different details, the jagged mountain peaks, and just the scene of what's really happening, and really getting to see a genre painting for the first time in 16th century art.